Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about an interesting topic, why you should not become a software engineer at all. So you see, I've been coding for almost 8 years now, and I've been coding, mostly PHP and JavaScript, Angular, and I have always been skeptical to switching from Angular to maybe React Native. And not because I didn't know that React Native is out there, is because I wanted to stick with something that I'm familiar with and just maybe be an expert. Then it is in recent months when I realized that that mindset was not the right mindset for a programmer. So coding is so hard and coding is so much demanding, and you find yourself always learning every time, and you have no way you can avoid the learning that is involved in coding. So I started computer science, but at school I didn't have any much that I can learn from there, because everything I use in my daily job is not something I learned from a class. And I've seen a lot of people asking themselves like how to become a software engineer, and if they could pay for something like a course from Udemy or something else. So I always say that, I have no advice I can give you whether you should switch to buying that course and learn it. Um, it can work and it cannot work. Sometimes the path someone took is not your, it's not necessarily your path. It may work for him, but not for you. So that is why I say like programming is the hardest job ever. Cause like when you are in interview, people expect you to be like that 10x engineer that they're looking for. But what I see people miss during the that phase of looking for someone who can code is the process of someone who can become a software engineer. You see, not everyone can be a software engineer. I think, at least that's what I think. But I think everyone can be willing to be a software engineer, but not everyone can be a software engineer because software engineering is the hardest job. You need to keep learning, and sometimes you need to reject some behaviors that can, be the barrier for you to grow. So that's why I think coding is so hard. So I've been working on Microsoft Authentication Flow, and not because I don't know how to implement the auth. I have implemented auth several times from other platforms such as Google and other platforms such as Twitter and so on. But when it comes to Microsoft Auth, it is something different. It is something that they have implemented in a different way that you need to figure out. And when a project manager comes to you and asks you like, when can you finish this off? It is simple, right? It is just maybe one day or like 2 hours you'll be done. So the reality in software that something that people assume to take one day is going to take probably 1 month. And that is really the reality of software engineering. When you're starting out and you think that everything's gonna be easy, unfortunately things are going to be a little bit different, and you'll be disappointed every time. So I was, tasked to work on that task to implement the Microsoft Auth, but I thought it is going to be easy because I've implemented the auth like multiple times, and I know in and out of what is the implicit grants that I should be having and so on. But what happened is that I was not an expert in Microsoft in any way, shape, or form. So uh, that part of neglecting that the Microsoft could have implemented something in a way that I don't expect, or there is some concept that I need to understand first in Microsoft ecosystem. That part itself really took me like almost 3 days to figure it out. And and you reach to the point where you feel like you want to quit the job, and because things really hard, maybe you need to find someone who is an expert in the team and help you. But the reality in software engineering is that no one is an expert in anything. Everyone is learning. The difference is that someone has done it before, but that doesn't mean that he's going to do it easy, because the time he come back to the problem, he's going to struggle, maybe not much as you, but he's going to be struggling. So that's why the coding is so hard, and I think that someone who doesn't like to learn constantly is going to have a hard time, becoming a good software engineer. So that's what I had to discuss today, and maybe you can learn something from that. And I'm looking to have the community of Yegobox people who just want to join the community. I'm preparing the course. If you want to learn Flutter and Spring Boot, feel free to you subscribe to the channel so that by the time I will announce the course, you'll be the one to get notified in the first place. And if you want to join our community, that is the way you can do it, by subscribing to my YouTube channel, which I, broadcast the video at a late night, when I'm done with my job. So that's what I had to say today, and I hope maybe something that I said have resonated with you. See you tomorrow. Ciao.